Hi there, welcome to my studio. I'm going to take you around to show you a few bits and pieces. This is always a real changing environment. Day by day it changes to whatever's happening and what's going on, and it's some week work that's not yet complete, another work that is on its way out to a new home. At the moment I'm working on this new piece, which is really started right at the beginning of lockdown. We're still not there, it's taking a time. It's basically a massive egg, and it's a cormorant egg, which I think is really cool because it's a sort of shape that is more elongated, and the reason it is because they nest on cliffs and things, it has to have a sort of narrow point to it, so if it starts to move it rotates on itself and doesn't fall off the cliff. But that aside, I just like the shape of it, and what I'm trying to do is it's going to be rather like one of my other pieces in Compass. It's figures encasing this egg shape, and at the moment I'm just trying to hand draw. I mean, it's a geometric shape, so it's quite detailed in as much as if you were really normally doing something like this, you would get out your tape measure and get everything absolutely exact. But in many ways that's not what I want. What I want is it having a geometric general shape, but every space and every figure and every connection to another figure is just slightly different. So I just hand draw it. I've got 12 figures at the top, and I have to end up with 12 figures on the bottom running all the way down the egg. But I'm starting by getting these sort of wave-like figure shapes, which will become here 2 arms and then go into 2 legs as it comes round. What I'm going to be doing is adding the foil to make the shape of the figures, and they're going to be pinned in with my little pins, which once the pins are in, you can then shape the foil almost like you would clay. It's quite easy to manipulate, and basically it's going to be like a beautiful Fabergé egg when you look from distance, but as you look into it, it's actually going to take the shape of figures that are, you've got to imagine heads here, your arms coming around and connecting to the next figure here. So they're all supporting each other, they're all as important as each other, and it just shows the humanity. At the moment we're just seeing how we're all interconnected wherever we live on this globe, and we all suffer from the same threats to a large extent. But that's it's been going on 6-9 months, probably longer. This particular idea has certainly been from lockdown, but the idea of utilising this shape has been going on for quite a few years now, and I'm just playing with lots of ideas. Moving on from there is a very old piece, which is this, which is Family Tree, which is one of my early pieces, and I'm planning on making a larger scale version of it, and I've been keeping it here in the studio because I'm not quite sure if I'm going to scale it up exactly as it is here or play with it a bit more, and I'm really uncertain. What I like about this is it's totally offline, but hopefully looks right. These figures down the bottom really move from one side to the other, but somehow they counterbalance the movement at the top. So it's a question of watch this space and see where we're going to go with that. I'm not really sure. Moving on from that, then you move from that, where it's yet another question mark, to Bond, which is here, and Bond should be going out, got to be delivered before Christmas. We are getting now tight to that, and this should be going out on Monday. Hopefully, it's thankfully London based to Richmond, and we've got a train ahead, which is what the studio is also about. I can't always hear the trains because I hear them so regularly, but they do tend to get in the way of conversation sometimes. But this one, Bond, is going to Richmond, and I've spent quite a long time. It's fixed to this rock, but for transportation it's got to be taken out. So we've worked really hard on that. But the patina was finished yesterday, and I think it's looking quite good. We're just waiting for a plinth to arrive, which was completed yesterday as well, and then it can go to the client Monday. Moving on, we've got this head here, which is potential. Potential has been potentially going out for about 2 years, and again, hopefully January. We have now got a date for this. Again, it's London, it's going to Wimbledon, but the clients had a lot of problems with getting the plinth built within their garden and sorting out other logistics. But I think they're there, I do hope they're there, and therefore we can take this out and get it installed into its new home. There's the using of the letters, which is why it's called potential. I'm dyslexic, and I've got all the potential, as the train has got potential of coming at any point that I'm explaining anything, and it also, the train has the potential of going away again, and then I can explain myself again. And the potential here has got all the letters, all the that you can make any word up. So it's like my dyslexia. You've got it all there. You just got to put it together in the right order. And the fun of this is, when we were doing this initially, there's a lot of hidden words within this. It's like a 3-dimensional or 4-dimensional crossword. And at the time of doing this, I put all the titles of all my previous pieces somehow, somewhere in it. I can't even find half of them now. They're quite difficult to find. But again, another potential move in January. And then if you look over here, I've got on the floor here is a wax. This is going to be part of Eclipse, which is a very big, rather like the bronze circle here. It's going to be the quality of that, but in an eclipse shape, and this figure stands proud in the middle of it. But I've got to work it on the wax and make sure it's right before it goes to bronze. And I'm actually going to extend the leg to make it longer, and there's a lot of errors in the wax that I need to resolve before it goes to bronze. So I've had this here about a week. I've been so busy, I just haven't got round to doing anything other than laying it on the ground, but it will have to be done ready for January to be made into bronze. And then we've got another piece here which is flow, which the fixing's not right, so it's really ready to go, other than, don't tell anyone else, I don't want to show them the wobble, but there's a wobble on the piece. So that's between ourselves, no one else knows. I trust you on that. But eventually I'll get that resolved. It's basically making the fixings in the granite better. It's not actually the bronze that's moving, it's the fixings in the granite which needs to be done. And again, sat here quite a time waiting for me to get round to it, which I haven't yet, but at some point we will. This is a guided tour without any control or thought. What have we got here? This is a good example of how I was showing you right at the beginning, and I'll bring it over here, showing you how I originally did Encompass, which is another piece, and you can see the similarity of way of working as I'm working on this new piece on the egg. So it's drafting it out and getting the detail. This one particularly was done in clay. This one's done in foil because I want it to feel like I don't know, like a jewel really. And all these pin marks are going to look like sort of mini gems and give a more ornate feel to it. So it's all playing, and you never know where you're going to go. And this is the studio.